your life.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah and taqabbal Allah a'malakum. We've put 2 nights behind us of the nights of Qadr, and inshallah the coming night, tomorrow night also, we make the most of that night, which there's the biggest chance that it is going to be the night of Qadr. If you all, those of you who are aware, there's a difference of opinion maybe on what night is the night of Qadr, but one thing that we're sure about usually with most ulama and scholars is that they really feel like the 23rd, the night of the 23rd is the first of the month of not the first, the night of Qadr. So inshallah we make the most of that opportunity. I also want to express my condolences to the brothers and sisters on the martyrdom of Imam Ali alayhi salam, those of you who commemorated last night, especially the shahadat of Imam Ali alayhi salam. And inshallah, one day things go back to normal and we're all able to, inshallah, visit the shrine of the Imam once again. I want to first just go over really quickly like what we've covered so far. Of this khutbah that we were covering for the past 3 sessions that we had, and we took a break and now coming back to it. The Imam alayhi salam in this khutbah, he began listing the different characteristics and traits of these individuals who are referred to as the muttaqin. These characteristics and traits that the Imam was listing, they're not all of the wajibat and muharramat. There are other mustahabbat in there too that the Imam points out as well. And so the question was, if taqwa usually is referred to as upholding the wajib and haram of Allah, then why are there traits and characteristics of them that is more? And I said that there's different degrees of taqwa. The most important and foundational degree of taqwa is what? Is that part of taqwa that allows one to refrain from the haram of Allah and to uphold the wajibat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if a person continues this path of righteousness, of this path of taqwa, they reach a point where they will want more. Allah puts that burning desire in them to do more and to accomplish more when it comes to Allah's satisfaction. And so they will go out of their way. They will do more things. They will sense more things and experience more things versus those who have a sloppy, quote unquote, taqwa diet in their lives, where they don't really, they will, do certain wajibat. They will fast in the month of Ramadan and they will pray and all that, but at the same time, other haram things happen as well, especially the haram of the tongue and other things. The tongue and all the haram things that come out of the tongue. And so these individuals, yes, who have it a little sloppy, they won't be having these things that Imam Ali is speaking about. Imam Ali, when he speaks about these ranks and these degrees of taqwa, it's because they have taken care of the more foundational levels of taqwa first, and then Allah will give them more. So we reach to the point where the Imam said about these individuals that they are as if they've, when you look at the way they're living their lives, it's as if they've been to Jannah and Jahannam, seen what's going on there, now they're back. A person who's actually seen all of that, their way of life and their lifestyle is going to be different than a person who has no idea what's coming. Now, have they really seen Jannah and Jahannam? No. But Allah has put something in them once again. They have more belief. They've moved from ilmul yaqeen to aynul yaqeen to haqqul yaqeen even sometimes, which means that they will sense it as if they've seen it, but they haven't seen it yet. So anyway, we talked about that last week, and the youth that woke up one morning telling the Holy Prophet that, I asbahtu muqina, that I have yaqeen And the Prophet asked him, what do you mean by yaqeen? Let me see what you mean. And he said, well, this is what I'm experiencing. It's as if I'm seeing the inhabitants of Jannah. It's as if I'm seeing the inhabitants of Jahannam. The Holy Prophet said, this is a person, نَوَّرَ اللَّهُ قَلْبَهُ بِالْإِيمَانِ. Allah has enlightened his heart with iman and faith. Their hearts are grievous. They are low maintenance. All these things the Imam spoke about these people. Now, we reached a point where I said that there's a very important line once again in this khutbah. As I've said before, this khutbah is full of very important lines for us. We reached this point where the Imam, he says, صَبَرُوا أَيَّامًا قَصِيرًا أَعْقَبَتْهُمْ رَاحَةٌ طَوِيلَةٌ تِجَارَةٌ مُرْبِحَةٌ يَسَّرَهَا لَهُمْ رَبُّهُمْ. This is an important line in this khutbah. Why? It puts things in perspective again for us. You see, sometimes we're like, let me figure out the equation for myself. Let's say there's an equation that you have in front of you. You want to solve the problem. Yes, you have an issue at hand. You want to resolve it. Sometimes there is no resolving it. Sometimes there is no way of there's no figuring a way out of it. You have to be in the middle of that problem and just hang in there. That's what it is. So for example, I don't know, you have to do an operation, yeah, and it's going to be a painful one, right? So for example, you want to get your ingrown toenail removed. Yes, at the end of the day, the doctor will tell you, look, you want to get your ingrown toenail removed? That's fine. Just letting you know though, we're going to make it numb. But to make it numb, we're going to spray some stuff on your toe and we're going to inject some things that is going to be painful itself. And there's no way around it. When you inject a needle into your toe, it's different than injecting it into somewhere else of your body that has more flesh and less tendons and things running and bones and stuff. The toe doesn't have too much flesh on it. Yes? And so when they inject, when they want to administer anesthetics, yes, it's gonna be painful. And so you're like, you can't say, doctor, how do I figure that out? How do I get rid of that pain? He's like, look, just hang in there, bite the bullet for a few seconds, and then you'll be good. And then, when we take your ingrown toenail out, you won't feel the pain too much. You won't feel the pain. But for that part, you have to have some pain. There's no way around it. Now here, in this situation, Imam Ali, in the situation of us in this life and living in this world, the Imam, he says something very important. He says, look, sabaru ayyaman qasiratan. Then these individuals, these muttaqeen, they exercised sabr for a few days. That's what they did. In other words, there's no way around it. Brothers and sisters, we have to understand it's going to get hard sometimes. That's how it is. That's how this life is. We have to accept this. We have to embrace this reality that this life is a life that will have sometimes in it hardships, not necessarily physical hardship, but any form of hardship. You lose a loved one, you lose some money, you get angry at someone. All of these cases and a ton of more examples that you can think of, they require patience sometimes. You can't evade that problem. Lots of times you're going to be in the middle of it. Stuff happens. Yes? And so this person has to learn that in a lot of situations, if you know that you can't resolve that you have to be patient. That's what it is. But patience is bitter. I don't like it. Yeah, exactly. Who likes fasting? Who likes staying away from food and drink for 14 plus 15 hours? Who likes that? Not everyone likes that, but there's something in it for us. Patience, when I get angry at my mom or dad, when I get angry at my wife or husband or kids, yes, patience sometimes is going to be very bitter. Now, it's okay to be angry at somebody, but when you get angry, usually you say certain things that you're not supposed to say. Haram comes out. That's the problem. So this person has to practice patience and train themselves. But doesn't feel good. Who cares if it doesn't feel good? Who says only good things come out of things that feel good? As a matter of fact, it's the opposite in this life. All these people who are fit, yes, who are perfectly fit, do you think they're having fun lives necessarily? While others are eating whatever they like? No, I mean, of course it's easier for you to eat whatever you like versus stay away from and diet from all the empty calories that are out there. And so these people who are in fitness, when you speak to them, they'll say it. They'll say, who likes dieting? I have to have my cheat days. You'll ask them, do you like the cardio exercises that you do? They say, no, we hate it, but we have to do it, so we have to do it. Okay, then. If that's how it is, this life also is about spiritual training as well. And so patience isn't going to feel good sometimes, but that's the deal. There's no way around it, right? Just like there's no proper diet pill that works for everybody, and exercise and cleaning up the diet is the only thing that'll solve the problem for sure. Then same thing here. The only thing that'll solve the problem lots of times is sabr, is being patient and hanging in there. And so here the Imam, he says something. He says the sabr part, but then he reminds us that, look, it's going to be worth it though. Look what he says. He says, sabaru ayyaman qasiratan. These individuals, these muttaqeen, what did they do? They exercised sabr and patience for a few days. Ayyaman qasira. True, there was no choice, and they have to do it. There's no way around it. But is it long term or is it short term? He says it's short term. It's only a few days. Now, someone might say, but look, 60, 70, 80 years. True, 60, 70, 80 years. But compared to infinity, it's zero. Yes? And that's why he continues the line, Imam Ali. He says, أَعْقَبَتْهُمْ رَاحَةٌ طَوِيلَةٌ. Continued and ensued by these short days that they're going to be patient in, are ensued by and followed by raha tawila. Raha means comfort, tawila means long. A long-lived comfort comes after it. Eternity and infinity, inshallah. So 60, 70, 80 years might not be a short period of time, but all in all, compared to infinity, it's zero, right? That's what they'll tell you in math. Any number compared to infinity is zero. And so this is the deal that we have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The only difference is we have to give up the moments we're living in now for something that's to come later. That's the only hard part. In other words, we have to make an investment. That's what Allah is asking for. مَنْ ذَا الَّذِي يُقْرِضُ اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا فَيُضَاعِفَهُ لَهُ. Who out there is there to lend Allah some money? When Allah asks for sadaqah and things like that, for us to live up to our monetary dues, this is how he words it. He says, lend me your money. You're actually investing it. Don't think you're losing the money. Lend me the money, I'll give it back to you in multifold. Yeah, just have to believe these promises of Allah. The only problem is who is willing to give up the now for later, if the later is going to be a million times better than the now. I mean, we're doing that all the time. We go to work when we could just, have some, the pleasure of, sleeping at home and eating and drinking at home, but there's people who go out and work. Why? Because they know the pleasure of now isn't going to cause them to be taking proper pleasure in the future. They want a proper future, a proper livelihood. And so they go to work right now. They go and study now to get a degree or whatever it is, so that they can make a halal living in the future. It's all about making investments. Life is all about making investments, giving up the now for the later, because the later is going to be higher in quality versus the now, right? And so this is how the muttaqeen see it as well. صبروا أياما قصيرة أعقبتهم راحة طويلة. That they live this short life, but with sabr, because they know what's to come is an eternal and long-lasting comfort. Okay. If I was to tell somebody that pay $60 and we'll give you $1 million in return, but we'll give it to you a year from now, 2 years from now, and people take up my offer, yes, who are they to thank? The one that put the $60 down, or the ones who's giving them the opportunity to gain $1 million back? Yes? I think the answer is pretty clear. The one who deserves more praise is the one who's putting down the 1 million later, right? And so here the question is, this is a deal with Allah that is made. A few days here of patience for eternal comfort there. This deal, who takes the credit for it? Because at the end of the day, let's go back to that $1 million example. If someone's putting down $50, $100 for $1 million to come later, right? At the end of the day, they're putting $100 down now. So they should deserve praise. And yes, they do. I mean, they deserve praise. That, thank you, $100. It's not nothing. But at the same time, we all know 95% of the credit goes to who? The one who's going to put down the $1 million 1 year from now in return for the $100, right? All right. Here the Imam, he says, Tijaratun murbiha. This deal of a few days of sabr in return for eternal comfort, this is a tijara murbiha. This is a profitable deal. All right, who gets the credit for this deal? Every deal, every transaction has two parties at least involved in it, right? So which party is going to take the credit here? The ones who had ayyaman qasira of sabr, the ones who tried their best and were exercised sabr for a few days, or the one who's going to give them eternal comfort? Which one gets more credit? Yassaraha lahum rabbuhum. Well, guess what? Obviously, the one who is allowing this deal to happen and is kind of getting, I don't want to say the shorter end of the stick here, because he's not losing anything. Allah's not losing anything. But at the end of the day, infinity and eternity for 50, 60, 100 years of sabr, that person who's giving infinity and eternity is going to get credit. Here, the Imam says, Yassaraha lahum rabbuhum. This is an awesome deal, a profitable deal, and you're doing your part. That's true. But who gets the credit? Allah gets the credit, of course, because He's the one who's letting this happen. He's the one who's letting it happen, or else it doesn't make sense. It's not a fair deal here that we're talking about. And so I love how the Imam points this out. Yassaraha lahum rabbuhum. I want to give you a tangible example. Those of you who have your own businesses, yeah. Every business, every person who's working out there has to pay their taxes, right? So all these small businesses, what they're doing is they are contributing to the economy flourishing, right? A successful country, a successful government is one in which all the businesses in there are flourishing, and so that contributes to the economy. Yes, and so this government that has a flourishing economy, for example, will make sure to take care of its businesses as much as it can, so that these businesses can continue to do their thing. So in return, the economy flourishes. Now, the IRS, one of the things that it'll do is will tell these businesses, hey, business, I will allow you to have write-offs at the end of the year when you're filing your taxes. You can write off some of your expenses that you had for your business. The mileage that you had for your business's purposes, I will let you write that off as well. What you need to do, though, is this. What you need to do is keep a log and track all of the miles that you have throughout the year. You will have to track all of the expenses that you make for your business and keep the receipts as well. And then you can write all of this off. So now, those of you who do this, I don't know how many people out there have these small businesses, but those of you who might do this, it can be a pain and a headache to keep track of all these things, So for example, people will install apps on their phones and that'll track their miles, right? When they are going on when they're traveling for business purposes, they'll just, conveniently put that information into their app, or just let their app know that, the traveling that I'm doing right now is for business purposes, and it will go into the log. But yeah, keeping receipts, all these things, there's apps for all these things. But at the end of the day, it's a headache. But the thing is, at the end of the day, at the end of the year, when these businesses are filing their taxes, when they're filing their taxes, then they get those write-offs. They get some major tax benefits and tax cuts for themselves that others wouldn't get. Yeah? A portion of their income and profits won't be taxed. It won't be taxable. Question now here is this: who gets the credit for this? Do we say thank you IRS, or do we say thank you small business who did the work? Well, yeah, good for you, small business, you did the work, but come on, like you are getting such a break here. So who made that possible? The IRS. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm praising the IRS or something, or that there's no flaws there. I'm just giving an example now. I want you to be aware of this. I don't want to become the known for the one who is pro IRS or something. No, but like the point I'm trying to make is, at the end of the day, yes, we are putting in the work and the hassle and all of that, but we know it's going to be rewarding for us multifold. And so we give in. We say, okay, I'm going to do it. And there are some people who don't take advantage of these things, and they are really missing out from what I hear. So from what I read. So this is an example. Yassaraha lahum rabbuhum. This is a deal that Allah has made, and you are putting the work in. And it is a hassle and headache sometimes, and it does get bitter, this sabr. But at the end of the day, the sabr not just for tragedies, the sabr for getting up to pray, to fast, all these things. But you are going to get a lot in return, and you will be happy. And Allah gets the credit for that, because He's the one who facilitated it. He didn't have to give in to such a deal, but He did, because He is all graceful, all merciful. This next line also of this khutbah is one of my favorites. It says, أرادتهم الدنيا فلم يريدوها وأسرتهم ففدوا أنفسهم منها. One of my favorite lines once again. And to explain it, first I want to give an example again. In the story of Yusuf and Zulaykha, what happened? Those of you who've seen the movie, those of you who haven't seen the movie, I don't know if you know about it, that series that was aired in Iran years ago. Yeah, it was a long series that they aired on Prophet Yusuf's story and life. And as you all know, the longest surah that speaks of the life of a prophet in the Quran is Surah Yusuf alayhi salam. So anyway, in that story, Zulaykha, when she approaches Yusuf and she wants him to fall into haram, what happens with Prophet Yusuf is that he turns away. Now Zulaykha in the beginning, she is trying to get his attention, trying to show him that she has feelings for him, and that flirtation happens and all that kind of stuff. But as you all know, love is a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. It has to be mutual, or else if it's just one way, it's not good. People who know that they love somebody, but that person doesn't love them back, eventually, they give up or they leave. It's not worth it. There's nothing in it for that person, right? Love is a two-way thing. And so Zulaykha in the beginning, she tries and tries and tries to get his attention, to get him to love her back, but it just doesn't work. And so he's not coming on his own terms. He's not coming to her and loving her back voluntarily and willingly. So what does she do? She uses force after that. She uses force to the extent the Quran, it says that Yusuf was speaking to Allah and he says, "Oh Allah, Rabbi sijnu ahabbu ilayya mimma tad'unani ilayh," if I'm not mistaken, just to make sure. Let me just look it up real quick. قال رب السجن أحب إلي مما يدعونني إليه. Yes, that Prophet Yusuf, he reached the point where he says, "Oh Allah, prison is more beloved to me than what these women are calling me to." So it wasn't just Zulaykha, it was the women of Egypt that were trying to get him. And so here, the prophet of God, he says, this prophet of God, it reaches a point where apparently, if he doesn't give in to their request and their demands, he has to go to prison. And we all know the story behind that, how he was falsely accused and went to prison as a result, right? So here in this situation, he's saying it. He's saying, oh Allah, I want this, I prefer this over that. I would rather not fall into sin and have other problems. Yes? What is this? What's happening here? Well, Zulaykha is forcefully now trying to get him for herself. He's not coming on his own terms. He's not coming willingly. Well, I'm going to force him to love me back. He has no choice but to give me attention, or else he's going to end up in prison. Something like that's what they showed in the story. Now, he says, I prefer this over that. Here in this part of Nahj al-Balagha, Imam Ali is saying, أَرَادَتْهُمُ الدُّنْيَا فَلَمْ يُرِيدُوهَا. That the dunya aimed for them, came for them, desired them. These muttaqeen desired them. When we say dunya, it doesn't mean necessarily good food, good pleasures that are halal. No, what is meant by dunya, first and foremost, is the haram version of it. Okay? And any part of dunya that's going to compromise our akhirah. We don't want that dunya. Anyway, dunya desired them, wanted them. What did they do? They didn't desire the dunya back. They're like, no, not interested. We're not interested. And so, you see, it's very similar to the story of Zulaykha and Yusuf. The dunya flirted with them. Dunya showed these muttaqeen what it has to offer. Yes, all the good things out there I have to offer you. Some will come through halal means, some will come through haram means. All you need to do today is just go online. Yes, suggested links will come up sometimes. Yeah, that's enough to show you what the dunya has to offer. Yeah, you go on YouTube, suggested links, etc., etc. And so some will be halal, and a lot of it will be haram. The dunya comes after us, flirts with us, tries to take us in. But what did these muttaqeen do? Lam yuriduha. They didn't love it back in return. Nope. One-way street. So now, Zulaykha, when she wasn't able to, what did she do? She tried to force him. Here also it says, أَسَرَتْهُمْ فَفَدَوْا أَنفُسَهُمْ مِنْهَا. The dunya, when it sees that it can't draw us, lure us, yes, get our attention, make us fall for it, what does it do? It imprisons us. Imprisons. Tries to take us by force. What does that mean? What's it talking about? My understanding of this, brothers and sisters, is this. That when it says, Asarathum, imprison them, tried to take them by force, now that they're not coming on their own by their own will, it tries to force them to come. My understanding is that at the end of the day, we are material beings right now. In the sense that, yes, our soul, which is immaterial, they say, is within this material body, and we ain't going nowhere. We can't break away from this body that we're in. And when we're in this body has certain needs. This body is of the dunya. And the properties of dunya, yes, dominate it. And so whether we like it or not, brothers and sisters, we're going to get hungry. We're going to get thirsty in this life. We're going to need clothing. We're going to need to get married, for example. All of these things are going to be needs that we have as a result of us being material beings, in a sense. Dunya says, okay, I keep, flirting with you, but you're not coming towards me. You know what I'll do? I will take advantage of the needs that you have. You have the need to eat, drink, yes, You have the need for marriage, you have the need for sleep, you have the need for a lot of things. Yes, I will capitalize on those needs and make sure that haram will come out of that at least. Yes. So these individuals, they're not coming on their own. So now the dunya wants to imprison them and forcefully take advantage of them. And so this is how it will do it. It will try to get them to do haram things when it comes to the bodily needs that they have. But what do? Yes? So dunya will tell you not to fast, but you fast. Yeah? What do? You are exercising sabr once again. And so you are sacrificing the needs that you had and the satisfying of those needs, you're sacrificing that for what? For Allah's satisfaction. And so this is what this part of the hadith is telling us, or the khutbah is telling us. The same way Yusuf alayhi salam, he said, you know what? I will give myself in ransom and will go to prison so that myself doesn't fall into sin. Here the Imam is saying, this dunya, once the people, these muttaqeen, don't come on their own, forcefully through their needs will try to get them, yet they will give themselves in ransom. And they'll say, you know what, I won't satisfy my needs. Yes, I won't satisfy my needs with any means possible. And I will make sure it's within the halal boundaries. So in other words, they're sacrificing themselves. If they were to not sacrifice themselves, they would do whatever they like. But they are sacrificing themselves in this sense by giving up the haram ways of satisfying these needs that they have. Yes, and in return, they are freeing themselves from the dunya, the same way Yusuf alayhi salam freed himself from Zulaykha. Yes. Amma al-layl. So now the Imam goes on. The Imam goes on and starts listing what these people's nights look like. Now I want to go through this because we have the nights of Qadr, we have the last night of Qadr approaching us tomorrow night, which our scholars say is most likely to be the night of Qadr. So tomorrow night is the night you take this most seriously, inshallah. And we do dua that Allah gives us tawfiq to make the most of tomorrow night, really. The Imam, he says, Amma al-layl, as for the night. Because after this, he's going to go Amma al-nahar, he's going to speak about their day. But here he says, Amma al-layl. First he starts with their nighttime. He says, in the nighttime, فَصَافُونَ أَقْدَامَهُمْ تَالِينَ لِأَجْزَاءِ الْقُرْآنِ يُرَتِّلُونَهَا تَرْتِيلًا. That during the nighttime, they are straightening their legs out, meaning that apparently they're standing in prayer. تَالِينَ لِأَجْزَاءِ الْقُرْآنِ يُرَتِّلُونَهَا تَرْتِيلًا. They recite Qur'an, but they recite it with tartil. Tartil doesn't necessarily mean, a nice voice. Tartil in these contexts is more referring to the pace that they have. Not too fast, not too slow. They do it, they recite it in a way where they can also reflect on it a little bit. When you go too fast, you can't do that. When you go too slow and you spend too much time on it, that might not be the best thing either. Tartil means at a pace that is acceptable, a pace that allows you to get the most out of the verses. يُحَزِّنُونَ بِهِ أَنفُسَهُمْ وَيَسْتَثِيرُونَ بِهِ دَوَاءَ دَائِهِمْ. They are making grievous and giving huzn to themselves as they recite these verses. Why? Why are they grievous? Because these are the words, this is my way of putting it, brothers and sisters. I want you to understand, this is my take on it, okay? A little bit of an irfani take, let's have, if you have you. Because I have heard ulama and others speak like this about these types of words that the imams say sometimes when it comes to huzn, reciting the Quran with huzn. One of the reasons that they have huzn while they're reciting is that this is like a love letter from their beloved to them. Let's not even call it a love letter. It's a normal letter, let's say. But it is coming from their beloved. Yes, the Quran is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When a person is in love with somebody, yet they don't have access to them, when a letter comes to them from their beloved, what happens? Are they happy or are they sad? Of course they're happy. But at the same time, as they're reading this letter from their beloved, since that beloved isn't there with them, they have a grief while they're reading the letter. I wish he or she was here with me right now. Yeah. So it's a nice grief, I would say. It's a grief that is also has within it some happiness. But at the end of the day, deep down inside, they have that grief that the beloved, I want the beloved to be here. Yes. And so here, these people, when they are reciting Quran, it's as if, yes, this is the word of God, and they take the utmost pleasure in reciting the word of God, but at the same time, this is the letter of the beloved, not the beloved himself. So there's a grief that is there mixed in with it. Yeah. Yes, now some might say that what this is saying is that they are bringing grief to themselves because of the verses of punishment that are in there. I personally think that no. It's more of an irfani thing here that is going on with them. وَيَسْتَثِيرُونَ بِهِ دَوَاءَ دَائِهِمْ. And within it, they search for, within this Quran, they search for the cure of their sickness and illness. Is it a physical sickness? Of course not. It's a spiritual one. Yes, they know that they find in this Quran a shifa for their souls. Yes, the Quran says, وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Yes, in this Quran there is some shifa for those who are believers. And for the zalimeen, it says, وَلَا يَزِيدُ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا خَسَارًا. There's all loss. They don't get anything out of it, and there's more negativity for them. Anyway, for the mu'mineen though, there's shifa in there. So you find in there your shifa. What kind of shifa? It's a remembrance, it's a reminder. This Quran keeps you motivated to continue the path of Allah, which is a path of obedience. Keeps telling you the stories of previous nations. Keeps reminding you that in the end, whatever is going to die is not worth you putting all your eggs into that basket. Yes? Everything is going to eventually cease to exist. وَيَبْقَى وَجْهُ رَبِّكَ. Yes, the only thing that will remain is your Lord. That's what you put. That is the basket you put your eggs into. So this is the shifa in the Quran. This is one aspect of the shifa in the Quran. Yes, we even believe that one might be able to get physical shifa out of it, but the primary reason for the Quran is spiritual shifa. فإذا مروا بآية فيها تشويق ركنوا إليها طمعا وتطلعت نفوسهم إليها شوقا وظنوا أنها نصب أعينهم. When they come across verses in this Quran that in it there is encouragement, in it there are rewards mentioned, what do? Here it says the rakanu. It says that they lean on it, or they might jump for it. إليها طمعا. They, out of eagerness, out of wanting to get to those things, they will lean on these verses. They will look into them more, maybe things like that. And then even more than that, تطلعت نفوسهم. تطلعت, here it says that it's like as if when you stick your head out the door, and you stretch over to see what's going on somewhere, to get some extra information about something. تطلعت نفوسهم means, here it says that their souls is as if is sticking its head out, being curious even more to see what's going on. That's what's going on with them. تطلعت نفوسهم إليها شوقا. These verses, the soul as if is like stretching out or reaching out more to see, to look into them more. That shows the eagerness, that shows the shawq that they have towards the rewards of Jannah that the verses are speaking about. وَظَنُّوا أَنَّهَا نُصْبَ أَعْيُنِهِمْ. It's as if this is something that's right in front of them now. It's not like, something that's going to happen a million years from now, who knows, we'll just take what we have now, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Maybe it will be true, maybe it's not true. No, 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 no. وإذا مروا بآية فيها تخويف أصغوا إليها مسامع قلوبهم وظنوا أن زفير جهنم وشهيقها في أصول آذانهم. Yes, it says, and when they come across those verses that have threats in them, that bring fear to our hearts, what happens there is أصغوا إليها. They will lend their ears to those verses. Not ear, physical ear. Masami'a qulubihim, the ears of their hearts to it. Sometimes you hear something, it goes through one ear, out the other. Sometimes, no, it sits, and it sits within you, sits in your heart and settles there. Here, the ears of the heart will take it in. Yes, just like when we hear noises, our ear takes in the sound, registers it in our brain, and it settles in our brain, and our brain will understand what's going on. Here, the ears of the heart, when they take in these sounds, these spiritual sounds, if the ears take it in, it registers within the heart. What does that mean? That means it affects them in a positive way. When it sits in your heart, that means it affects you in a positive way. And they وَظَنُّوا أَنَّ زَفِيرَ جَهَنَّمْ وَشَهِيقَهَا فِي أُصُولِ آذَانِهِمْ. And the core of their ears, it's as if they feel and they are hearing and sensing the sound of the zafir of the hellfire and the shahiq of it. There are different maybe interpretations of this. One of them is that the inhale and the exhale of the fire, as if it's a breathing beast, which when it inhales, it has a certain sound. When it exhales, it has another frightening sound. It says that it's as if they are hearing it. Where are they getting this from? When the verses are speaking about Jahannam, it's as if this is happening with them. We ask Allah to help us and to free us and save us from the hellfire, as the du'as of this month, clearly have within them that, oh Allah, we ask of you the fakaku riqabina, fakaka raqabati, that I ask you for the freedom of my neck from the hellfire, which means myself being free from the hellfire on a day like this, which is the day of the shahadat of Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. I know that you have had probably majalis, and last night also in the nights of Qadr as well, Imam Ali was remembered. On this day, Imam Ali alayhi salam left this dunya, and with his passing, the Muslim Ummah was orphaned once again, just like the Muslim Ummah was orphaned with the passing of the Holy Prophet. And they say that these people, when they found out that Imam Ali is on his deathbed, he needs help, it says that some of these scholars, they say that people started bringing, and children started bringing their share of milk or whatever else they had for Imam Ali. Give this to Ali and help him. We want him to survive. We want Imam Ali to stay alive. Now, some have said that some of these people of Kufa in the future, as they grew up, yes, not all, but maybe some of them, they grew up, and in Karbala, these same ones who might have been bringing milk to Imam Ali alayhi salam on the day of Ashura, deprived his son Abu Abdullah al-Hussein and his grandson Ali al-Asghar from the water. And it reminds us of what has happened a few days ago as well. When I bring the name of Ali al-Asghar, it reminds us of what happened a few days ago in Afghanistan. I don't know what to say, brothers and sisters. I really don't know what to say. It kills me. I mean, we have an infant of our own right now at home, and how fragile this infant is. And you can't even imagine that something would happen to this child of yours. And then now we have ISIS claiming responsibility for an attack. An attack on who? On soldiers and troops? No, a maternity ward in Afghanistan where majority, if not all of them, were Shia. And little babies were killed. Mothers were killed with infants. Those infants now don't have any mothers. One report was saying that a a woman who was trying for many years to have a child and eventually had a child, she lost her child in this massacre as well. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect all the mu'mineen from the shar and evil of these individuals, and to relieve all the Muslimin from their shar, and to protect everyone and all of us from this virus that is still causing problems across the world, inshallah. And we ask Allah to protect our faith and iman also in these nights, and as a result of these nights protects us throughout the year, inshallah. Keep us in your du'as. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك، وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة، وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال والنقمة، وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة. اللهم أذنت لي في دعائك ومسألتك، فاسمع يا سميع مدحتي، وأجب يا رحيم دعوتي. وأقل يا غفور عثرتي، فكم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها، وهموم قد كشفتها، وعثرة قد أقلتها، ورحمة قد نشرتها، وحلقتي بلاء قد فككتها. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا، ولم يكن له شريك في الملك، ولم يكن له ولي من الذل، وكبره تكبيرا. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها، على جميع نعمه كلها. الحمد لله الذي لا مضاد له في ملكه، ولا منازع له في أمره. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه، ولا شبيه له في عظمته. الحمد لله الفاشي في الخلق أمره وحمده، الظاهر بالكرم مجده، الباسط بالجود يده، الذي لا تنقص خزائنه، ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما. إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير، مع حاجة بي إليه عظيمة، وغناك عنه قديم، وهو عندي كثير، وهو عليك سهل يسير. اللهم إن عفوك عن ذنبي، وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي، وصفحك عن ظلمي، وسترك على قبيح عملي، وحلمك عن كثير جرمي، عندما كان من خطئي وعمدي. أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجبه منك، الذي رزقتني من رحمتك، وأريتني من قدرتك، وعرفتني من إجابتك، فصرت أدعوك آمنا، وأسألك مستأنسا، لا خائفا ولا وجلا، مدلا عليك فيما قصدت فيه إليك. فإن أبطأ عني عتبت بجهلي عليك، ولعل الذي أبطأ عني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور. فلم أر مولا كريما أصبر على عبد لئيم منك علي يا رب. إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك، وتتحبب إلي فأتبغض إليك، وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك، كأن لي التطول عليك، فلم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة لي والإحسان إلي والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك. فارحم عبدك الجاهل، وجد عليه بفضل إحسانك، إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك، مجري الفلك، مسخر الرياح، فالق الإصباح، ديان الدين، رب العالمين. الحمد لله على حلمه بعد علمه، والحمد لله على عفوه بعد قدرته، والحمد لله على طول أناته في غضبه، وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق، باسط الرزق، فالق الإصباح، ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام، الذي بعد فلا يرى، وقرب فشهد النجوى، تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادله، ولا شبيه يشاكله، ولا ظهير يعاضده. قهر بعزته الأعزاء، وتواضع لعظمته العظماء، فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أناديه، ويستر علي كل عورة وأنا أعصيه، ويعظم النعمة علي فلا أجازي. فكم من موهبة هنيئة قد أعطاني، وعظيمة مخوفة قد كفاني، وبهجة مونقة قد أراني. فأثني عليه حامدا، وأذكره مسبحا. الحمد لله الذي لا يهتك حجابه، ولا يغلق بابه، ولا يرد سائله، ولا يخيب آمله. الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين، وينجي الصالحين، ويرفع المستضعفين، ويضع المستكبرين، ويهلك ملوكا، ويستخلف آخرين. والحمد لله قاصم الجبارين، مبير الظالمين، مدرك الهاربين، نكال الظالمين، صريخ المستصرخين. موضع حاجات الطالبين معتمد المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي من خشيته ترعد السماء وسكانها، وترجف الأرض وعمارها، وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراتها. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق، ويرزق ولا يرزق، ويطعم ولا يطعم، ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى، وهو حي لا يموت، بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك وخيرتك من خلقك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك، أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأنمى وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتحننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسلك وصفوتك وأهل الكرامة عليك من خلقك. اللهم وصل على علي أمير المؤمنين وأبلغ رسالات العالمين، عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وحجتك على خلقك وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم. وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين، وصل على صبطي الرحمة وإمامي الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة. وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الهادي المهدي، حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم وصل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمل والعدل المنتظر، وحفه بملائكتك المقربين، وأيده بروح القدس يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعله الداعي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك، استخلفه في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله، مكن له دينه الذي ارتضيته له، أبدله من بعد خوفه أمنا، يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا. اللهم أعزه وأعزز به، وانصره وانتصر به، وانصره نصرا عزيزا، وافتح له فتحا يسيرا، واجعل له من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. اللهم أظهر به دينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق. اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله، وتذل بها النفاق وأهله، وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك، وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فحملناه، وما قصرنا عنه فبلغناه. اللهم المم به شعثنا، واشعب به صدعنا، وارتق به فتقنا، وكثر به قلتنا، وأعزز به ذلتنا، وأغن به عائلنا، واقض به عن مغرمنا، واجبر به فقرنا، وسد به خلتنا، ويسر به عسرنا، وبيض به وجوهنا، وفك به أسرنا، وأنجح به طلبتنا، وأنجز به مواعيدنا، واستجب به دعوتنا، وأعطنا به سؤلنا، وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة آمالنا، وأعطنا به فوق رغبتنا يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المعطين. اشف به صدورنا، وأذهب به غيظ قلوبنا، واهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك، إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق آمين. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا صلواتك عليه وآله، وغيبة ولينا، وكثرة عدونا، وقلة عددنا، وشدة الفتن بنا، وتظاهر الزمان علينا. فصل على محمد وآله، وأعنا على ذلك بفتح منك تعجله، وبضر تكشفه، ونصر تعزه، وسلطان حق تظهره، ورحمة منك تجللناها، وعافية منك تلبسناها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. صل على محمد وآله.